All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on It's All the Work. I'm your boy, Big Tasty. Joining me today are my co-hosts, Hanji Manji, and as always, Dreshin. Tonight, we're going to be going over Smackdown. We're going to be going over some news that has happened during the last 3 days, and this is going to kind of be our thing going forward. We are now officially at 2 episodes a week.
What? 2 episodes,
which is fantastic. Absolutely. So Sunday is going to be about Smackdown primarily, and Thursday is going to be about Raw. Now I know you might be asking yourself, what about WrestleMania? What about the Elimination Chamber? How are you guys going to handle that? The answer to that question is, we'll let you know on Thursday. We're gonna figure that out because we do want to keep it under an hour. And in that respect, we are going to go ahead and move right along and get into the opening of the show. I really think SmackDown was actually a really good show. I know I've always hated the whole like, oh, Vince wrote the show and you can tell, or Triple H wrote the show and you can tell. Triple H has been head of creative for a while, and to the haters of Vince McMahon's booking point, Triple H seems to be better at the moment. So, you know, you can't deny that, I guess. So, getting right into it, we were live from Salt Lake City, Utah. At the top of the show, we had a video of The Rock arriving in the arena, which has become a big thing lately. Like, at the top of the show, they're like, oh, look, this guy showed up in his car. Cool. And then they, you know, that's always the big thing. So, Corey Graves says that The Rock and Roman Reigns have joined forces to be the most dominating stable in WWE history, and we'll hear from The Rock and Roman Reigns tonight, and all of that good stuff. And then we jump into our first match of the evening, which is going to be the Elimination Chamber qualifying match, KO versus Dirty ex-con Dominic Mysterio. Pretty good match overall. Some of the highlights for the match are some of the going-ons in the match. Dom comes out with a mic and he tries to talk, but he gets booed all the way down the ramp. No one wants to hear what he has to say. As usual, Dom is one of the better heels in the company right now. For him to be as young as he is and to be one of the top heels, I mean, he's not Randy Orton in the ring, but as far as heat, he's like a young Randy Orton, right? I mean, pretty much.
I don't know. I felt like Randy didn't get as many boos as Dom is getting. This man, he's booed out the arena. Like, literally, over talk, you just hear boo. As soon as he puts the microphone to his lips, they get louder. I've never seen that. That is a heel right there.
Yeah, they make sure Dom gets shut the hell down, because yeah, I don't know.
No one wants to hear
definitely put into his heel role.
So anyway, he finally gets it out that Finn Balor and Damian Priest are going to retain their tag titles at WrestleMania, and at Perth. That Mommy is going to retain her title in Perth, and that Dirty Dom is going to win the Chamber to complete the sweep, as he said. And he's going to go to WrestleMania to beat Seth Rollins, which, no, he wasn't.
No.
That was never going to happen. That never probably will happen. So the match itself starts out with some chain wrestling. KO gets the upper hand with a shoulder block. Dom takes a break outside the ring. Match continues a little bit with general chain wrestling, ending with KO getting the upper hand. Dom showing his like kind of heel cowardice, kind of trying to get away from KO and that kind of thing, taking the upper hand, all that kind of stuff. Dom does get a small upper hand with a Hurricane Rana, taunts the crowd too much. He gets spilled outside by a clothesline from KO for his efforts. Things spill outside. Dom gets a brief upper hand. KO throws Dom back in the ring, and R-Truth comes out of nowhere, which allows Dom to get the upper hand with a baseball slide drop kick. Then they go to a commercial break. I don't know why I was kind of surprised to see R-Truth after his...
R-Truth load in is the best part of the match. Because, I mean, if you look at the match, there's no way KO wasn't going to win that match. Dom just, no, it wasn't going to happen. R-Truth coming out, R-Truth was just R-Truth. You know, the chair, the taunting, all of it. It was, you know, textbook for the way Truth is here lately. I love it. The match itself, it was a little overdone in my opinion as far as just the amount that KO had to do to put him down. KO shouldn't have had to go through near as much as he had to finish that match. It should have been a much quicker, just bop, 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 ha. You were never in this storyline, bye.
Well, maybe they're trying to push Dom into more of an in-ring talent as far as like competitiveness. Because I mean, he was pulling
Dom
out some
is
moves.
a good in-ring talent. Just, you know, he's another one of those good stepping stones. Most people have to wrestle him to prove their point. And Dom can wrestle. I'm not saying he can't. I just say in this situation, I felt like they overcooked it for a first match of the night. You know, most first match of the nights aren't going to be slobber knockers. They're just going to be, oh, look, damn, you died. Move on.
But they're supposed to also set the energy for the night. And you know for a fact that R-Truth, back in the day, R-Truth and Carmella used to always come out before the show and get everybody hyped up. They did that for like 2 years running, whether it was on air or off air. So, I mean, it was kind of a hype up match. It was kind of a hype match, I guess. It pushed a storyline, right? I mean,
yeah, I was just saying, it told a story because you notice that Dom asked R-Truth to get the chair. And what R-Truth?
Yeah,
he
Dom
goes
said,
against
if
the chair.
you want to be a part of the Judgment Day, go get me a chair.
But he was arguing. He was arguing back and forth. He was like, but I'm out of the Judgment Day. And he goes against the chair. And then he sits down, and I loved it. I was like, yes, that's my guy right there.
You know, it's so funny, man. Like, because R-Truth's, and the past like month or two, or however long this little storyline with R-Truth has been going on. First of all, we'll have to talk about this at some point. R-Truth's storyline with the Judgment Day mirrors Sami Zayn's involvement in the Bloodline. Kind of this outcast coming in. The only difference is that the Bloodline accepted Sami Zayn to a point. Obviously, Jey Uso had the problem and stuff. But man, I made a note where I was like, man, R-Truth's Judgment Day status changes as much as Big Show did face and heel back in the day. Like, he's like, I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, now I'm out. Hold on. So yeah, you guys talked about a lot of the match just now. Basically, the ending more or less was that KO ends up winning via pop-up powerbomb. So now we have KO who's going to end up being... we have KO who's going to end up being in the Elimination Chamber now. My question is that does Dom go against Truth at some point? Like, in the Elimination Chamber? Does he go against Truth at WrestleMania? I mean, Dom was supposed to go against Brock in Perth, right? So he's supposed to go. He was supposed to have a match set up. So do we just put R-Truth there? Because obviously, as we'll talk about later, he's not going to go against Braun Breaker. Gunther most likely isn't going to go against Braun Breaker unless there's some kind of tournament. So do we think that match is coming down the line?
I can't really say if it is or... I mean, eventually, yeah. But I see more of a R-Truth versus Damian Priest kind of situation, because Damian Priest is the executioner. He's the one that's like, all right, he's not in the Judgment Day. He's been telling them from day one he's not in the Judgment Day. He keeps coming back. Eventually, he's going to have to squash R-Truth, and, you know, we have to see that happen. Dom's not going to be the squasher. He runs to Mommy, and Mommy handles it, but this is something I feel like Damian Priest has to handle, in my eyes, but I just don't see the two going at it on the pay-per-view.
Not like a pay-per-view level. Okay.
No.
I think it'll be a Raw level or a SmackDown level type thing. I don't think that one will go to that. While we're on the Judgment Day, it takes us off of SmackDown. It was posted today. While they were where were they this week?
In Salt Lake City?
Yeah. While they were there, I sent y'all I shoot you the TikToks of the micro wrestling league, the midget league. That group was also in Salt Lake City, and there are posts on TikTok of Damian Priest, LA Knight, and Dirty Dom hanging out with the micro wrestling league.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That is awesome.
If you can find that and bring that up as a whole picture or whatever, you should share that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do. Well, we'll move on, and if I can bring it up, I'll get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So while he's finding that, so after that we had the Drew segment. Drew says he's the savior of WrestleMania and says his moment was stolen from him for the last 4 years, basically. LA Knight shows up. He says, he's going to have his moment stolen again, courtesy of LA Knight. Drew says that LA Knight's insecure, and then LA says that he's going to put Drew's name next to Punk's name on that tombstone shirt. So just some good general trash talking that will lead to obviously their match that was announced for next Friday. So after that, we have a Roman Reigns is now in the building, shows up, embraces Jimmy, which was hilarious because Jimmy looked over at Paul. He was like, "Am I supposed to hug him back? Like, I'm not sure what's going on over here." So that was kind of funny. After that, we get the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates segment. Basically, obviously, they're the number one contenders for the title. So, they're coming out and says things. Oh, here we go. We got that up. I'll pull that up while I'm talking. That's amazing.
Oh, and Austin Theory, too? I forgot about that.
Yeah, Austin Theory's in there. Yep.
That's awesome. That is really awesome.
Is that mini Bianca Belair right there?
Wow.
No.
No, it's not. It's not.
No,
Doesn't have the braid.
No, that's one of the midgets. Or little people. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I saw that today. I was like, all right, bet.
That is pretty dope. So Pete Dunne says that things are going great for them. Tyler says that they're about to revolutionize the tag team division. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, honestly, they will. 100% they will. They just need to have that time. They have to put that time in, and then eventually the storyline will work out for them. Dom comes by, interrupts them, and says, "You guys can't beat any two members of the Judgment Day, let alone the tag team champions." And Tyler says, "Okay, well, how about we test that theory, and we go against you and R-Truth next week." Dom gets pissed off. He says, "R-Truth isn't even in the Judgment Day. You should know this," and walks away. He's like yelling in the background and stuff. That also leads to a match announcement later on. And again, I'm going to go over these at the end, but it will be JD McDonough, and it will be Dirty Dom versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. The weird thing about that is I don't know if that was a part of like kayfabe or work, or if they were trying to like rib him like in character, obviously, or if they just forgot that R-Truth wasn't actually a part of the Judgment Day and then just said it, and it was supposed to be JD McDonough like the whole time.
No, that was clearly a rib. I saw the smiles. That was intended as heck, man. Like, they looked at him. He was like, "Yeah, just get R-Truth." I'm just saying that, yeah. But I honestly agree with you. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates they're gonna do some damage. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, also, I want to hear y'all's opinion. I'll give you mine. I don't think there's any way that Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates are winning the titles in Perth. I don't think it's possible. I think it's possible, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think that they have this match. They're getting this match against JD McDonough and Dom to have a win, to have their momentum, right, going into Perth. And they're going to win, but they're having that win so that they look strong when they lose against Finn and Damian at Perth. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're kind of setting that up so it's like, you may have lost to the champs, but you have a win over the Judgment Day, that kind of thing. I think that's what they're setting up.
I can see that. I mean, it brings them more into it. It's kind of reinvigorating for all sides involved, not just for the wrestlers themselves, but for the WWE universe, to bring them into the game to try and make sure that they stay engaged and hopefully keep them behind them instead of it, the momentum slipping away from them.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I would say, Do they lose clean though? I don't see them losing clean. I see an interference with Dirty Dom and JD McDonough, so it makes them even look uh more of a power because they had to get interference to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So I see this as the first loss, but I also see a rematch for the titles later on.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a clean victory by Finn and Damian, not by any stretch. And to your point, G, maybe we're looking at a triple threat for the tag teams. You know, it's really funny because I feel like a lot of people don't like to have like triple threats and fatal four ways and this kind of stuff at WrestleMania. They like the whole mano a mano thing. But to be honest, at pay-per-views, I like the multiple teams or multiple people going against each other. I think that's awesome. I think that's what the pay-per-views are for, quite frankly, to show that showcase those big matches. So I kind of hope that we lead to something like that, like a tag team, but then maybe DIY gets in the mix. Maybe we even have a four-way tornado tag at WrestleMania for the titles. I think that'd be great.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have something like that. We haven't seen that in a while, so I'd say go for it.
I'd like to see the Street Profits added to the mix. I think that'd be awesome. So moving on, we have the Elimination Chamber qualifying match: Zelina Vega versus Tiffany Stratton. So we'll just go over some of the matches, or some of the things that happened in the match. I've been trying to take more specific notes on match happening, so if I get really specific, that's why. So it starts out with some standard chain and lockup wrestling. They move to the corner where Zelina hits a Hurricane Rana for Tiffany to come back with a body slam, hits the ropes for a stomp. Zelina counters. They spill to the outside of the ring where Zelina gets the upper hand, goes to the top rope with a beautiful backflip on Tiffany Stratton. Like they went back and forth, and she's went up the turnbuckle, whatever, quickly and just hit that backflip, and it was awesome. I loved it. So so they wrestle some more. Kind of Zelina goes kind of around the ring in a sense, and the camera pans over to the front row next to commentary to see Legado del Fantasma, I think it's, or Legado del Fantasma, I think is how you say it. And Zelina gets a little bit distracted. She's actually in the ring at this point. She gets a little bit distracted. They go to the commercial. You come back. Tiffany has a rear naked choke applied. The LWO comes down to the ring to kind of confront and protect against LDF. That's how I'm going to kind of abbreviate their names there. Zelina goes for the 619, which is countered, but she still manages to hit a tilt-a-whirl DDT for a 1-2 no. Zelina goes to the top rope for a double axe handle, rolls through only to get caught by Stratton to receive an Alabama slam, 1-2 no. Frustrated, Tiffany sets up Zelina for the prettiest moonsault ever, which is her finisher. Gets countered 619 in the corner. And then hits Tiffany with double knees from the top from the second rope for a 1-2 no. Tiffany rolls outside, making Zelina follow. They make it over to the barricade where LDF are, and Lopez talks some stuff to Zelina. Zelina replies by pulling Lopez over the barricade, roughing her up a little bit, and then just kind of like getting in the rest of LDF's face. Right? Zelina rolls in. Gets caught by Stratton and slammed on the mat. Tiffany Stratton wins via the prettiest moonsault ever. Tiffany Stratton is now in the Elimination Chamber, but I think that you guys are probably going to already see it and you're going to comment on it. We're probably setting up for something bigger with Zelina Vega, no?
I want to say maybe because she was throwing some moves out there, and I'm hoping they're building her up to be more competitive. And also, she's in the last chance match, so possible pullout. Who's to say? But let's talk about Tiffany real quick. Do you see like an off-brand Charlotte Flair in this mix? I'm just saying, like, it's just like the moonsault. The moonsault is crazy because hops up, boom. That takes some skill, but I just see like an off-brand Charlotte here, just I'm the best thing ever. Why am I even bothered by you peasants? And it's just, all right, we have somebody like that already. Why do we need another one?
Definitely has the queen mentality. Yeah, I mean, she's come up from NXT. I just think that just like everyone else, she kind of has to find her place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But more what I was referring to was the LWO versus LDF. Do we do this in Perth? Do we do this at WrestleMania? Is this confrontation between them, is it big enough to make it to WrestleMania? Maybe an opening match, maybe a pre-show?
I don't see it in a pre-show. I mean, WrestleMania, if anything has the pre-show, it would be WrestleMania, and I would see it being in WrestleMania instead of in Perth. I just don't see there being the need for the extra encounter in Perth. I think they've got a pretty good card at this point. They're probably going to throw one or two more matches our way to get us ready for it. That will be pre-card or early card, but I don't think you need something like that engaged in Elimination Chamber. I think they need to build that story a little bit more before it's brought to a pay-per-view stage.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They need to build it just a little bit more, make it more, exciting.
I mean, you
more.
can see the storyline there, but I think it needs more.
Heard that. And I think that they probably will progress it as time goes on. We still have 6 weeks actually till WrestleMania, so we've got a lot of time to build. A lot of time. So next thing we got AJ Styles in the OC segment. So they announced it last week, and now this week they're making a story. I don't know why it's like kind of bass-ackwards, but whatever. Carl Anderson, basically the meat of this is Carl Anderson says that AJ has forgotten where he came from. AJ Styles gets up, bop, slaps him. What the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. The thing that got me is that Carl Anderson, the way that he did this kind of thing, and then he pawed AJ Styles in the chest. And I was like, if you don't get that, what is that? What is that? I mean, he said he was like, oh, if you were somebody else, I'd attack you. And, AJ is like, well, that's all that's stopping you, buddy. So, I mean, obviously we're doing this match next week. What?
I don't know. I could care less. The only part that really got me was AJ sitting in the cupboard like this, looking like an emo Breakfast Club member. I just don't know what's going on with him right now. They need to figure that out. Why is he so sad? What is going on?
Man, I don't know. He's still got the soccer mom haircut, though. I know that. I say I ain't ever going away. Oh, and you also found out there was a little teaser, I guess, for 2K24. You can play as Post Malone, and he recorded a bunch of songs in 2K24, and you can also, like I said, you can wrestle as Post Malone. We are considering all getting the game and reviewing it. If that's something that anybody would be interested in, or even watching a stream and check it out, let us know.
Did I miss that conversation?
Yes, you did.
What conversation?
Nah, you missed that. So we might be.
That sounds like T was having conversations with himself in the shower again. Is what
I have signed y'all up in case. Hey, if the viewers want it, man, we'll give the viewers what they want. So.
This man hearing voices.
Right. So the viewers are paying for the game, right?
Ooh, man.
Speaking of the viewers, if anyone who has joined us, feel free to join into the chat. To be able to join into the chat, you do have to follow. So follow us, join into the chat, and be a part of the conversation. We love to hear everybody else's opinions and get some feedback. So let us know what's up. Let us know what you think. If you think we're wrong, let us know. It's not going to hurt our feelings. So moving right along, we go to the damage control segment. I'm just going to say right out of the gate, I really liked it. So basically what happens is that Io says that Damage Control started with Bayley's vision, but it was their work that made Damage Control actually succeed. It was their talent that made Damage Control succeed. Io says that it's her era, and it will stay that way when she embarrasses Bayley at WrestleMania. Asuka says that Dakota Kai is stupid if she thinks that she can turn her back on Damage Control and without repercussions. And Kairi Sane says that Dakota should sleep with one eye open. And then Asuka says, then they say together, no one is ready for Damage Control. How do you guys feel about Damage Control? Like, I just gotta ask, like, to be honest, they've been around for a minute now, and this was the most badass thing they've done that I remember seeing. So what do you guys think about Damage Control?
I mean, where did Io lie? Where's the lie? Like, it was Bayley's vision, but they made that, especially when Asuka and Kairi joined, like, really? I honestly, when they first, I didn't even see that coming. That came out of nowhere. Like, where did Asuka come from? Where's Kairi been? What? So yeah, off of their backs, they have made Damage Control 10 times better. I love Bayley. Don't get me wrong, but they legit made Damage Control and probably gonna come out on top. I see Io winning. I don't see it stopping yet.
Okay. What do you think, Dresh? What do you make of this Damage Control and the women's champion Io Shirai and the tag champions Asuka and Kairi Sane? What do you make of these runs, either individually or them as a group? What do you think?
Well, I think like everybody has said pretty much all along, it was Bayley's vision. It really was, and this is something I had to research because Damage Control started before I started watching wrestling again. But Damage Control made a name for themselves, like you said, when Asuka and them joined. And Bayley really hasn't had anything huge recently. So this run of hers is really the first big thing she's done, while the rest of Damage Control has held titles, has made runs, has made moves. So it's just like anything else, where if, you're the back burner, but you're the one whooping that ass, you're going to want some credit. You're going to want to take control at some point. It all seems extremely logical to me. It seems like a good run with it. And the storyline of them actually, wanting to take almost vengeance for being set in the background of Damage Control, even though they did the work, is a really nice touch, in my opinion. Everybody turning on Bayley now, though now you've got Dakota Kai running to Bayley because she's afraid of Damage Control. That happened a little later in the night. I apologize.
It's fine.
It's just a lot going on with it. And it's a good storyline progression, I think.
Well, let's talk about it, dude. I mean, since we're already there, do we think that Bayley can trust Dakota?
No. 100% no. In my opinion, it's a ploy to get Bayley to drop a little bit of a guard so that the rest of Damage Control can step in when she's not paying attention.
Heard that.
They got a steel pipe to pay her back for.
It's fair. Okay, very good. So next, we have my favorite match of the night. Javier Bernal and Beau Morris. I do apologize if I have ruined y'all's names from NXT. Versus the Authors of Pain, AOP. This was a good old-fashioned squash match that happened so quickly I only have 3 bullet points, so I'm just going to go through them real quick. Akeem hits a clothesline right out of the gate. Just kills this man, the shorter of the two. Morris was the taller one. So Bernal gets just destroyed immediately. I actually think it's a clothesline and like maybe a stomp, if I remember correctly. Then Akeem runs over, tags in... what's the other guy's name? I had it in my head, now I forgot it.
Razor.
Yeah, tags in Razor, runs over to Morris, flips him in the ring, and they they both go over together, grab him, flip him in the ring, and they beat him down. And then my next note is literally AOP wins via the Super Collider into suplex powerbomb neckbreaker maneuver. I'm not sure what that move is called. I actually looked it up. I could not find the name for that finish. Like, they have the final chapter, they have the Super Collider. I do not know what that move is called, but that move looked pretty good. So, I mean, for anybody that didn't see it, it's basically a suplex. You lift him up, and then when he basically takes the guy, throws him back right here, catches his head where it would be a neck breaker, like a reverse neck breaker, inverted neck breaker, and then Razor catches him in the power bomb, brings him down the power bomb while the neck breaker gets hit. Devastating move. Really, really good. We haven't seen squash matches in a long time, and they used to get overdone. So it was really nice to see just a team get absolutely obliterated, and also get some rub from the authors of pain and get some get on SmackDown. For those two random guys, that's awesome. That must have been like the best night of their lives to be on SmackDown, and they got killed. So what do you guys think about the authors of pain? Like, what? Obviously, they're probably going to be the tag team champions one day, but like, what do you think's next for them? Where do you think? I mean, like, obviously, the stuff with the Street Profits, but after Street Profits, what do you see for them?
I don't know, because I want to see where this goes with Final Testament. Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and what's his name, Paul
Ellering.
Paul Ellering, yeah. I want to see where this goes, because this is an interesting group. Like, I didn't even know this was forming in the background, but I'm curious to see how this progresses, especially going against Street Profits, Bobby, and what's the lady's name? Fab.
Yeah. It's B-Fab.
B-Fab. Thank you. Yeah, I want to see how this progresses. I want to see this like big match between all of them, because this is going to be interesting. Like, AOP is just dominant in itself. They are just big meaty men slapping meat. That's what they are.
Yeah, I think I want to see Paul Ellering do some more talking. Like, I understand that he's a manager. He needs to manage. I need him to be more lip service for AOP, because AOP obviously Akeem and Razor obviously cannot do their own mic work, and that's why Paul is there. I need to see Paul Ellering do some more mic work. I need to see that, and I think that'll help elevate them.
I can see that. Yeah.
So we have the Logan Paul segment, which is followed by the Logan Paul Miz match. So in the segment, Logan Paul basically says, "Hey, you're welcome for doing a SmackDown match where I'm going to knock out the Miz," and then he claims he's going to win the Elimination Chamber. It's really weird. Someone's lying to us, because they're all saying they're going to win. So who's lying to us? I don't know. It's probably everybody but Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton, to be honest.
Probably.
So, all right. So another match, Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Logan Paul versus the Miz. Logan Paul comes out, puts his gum in on the top of some kid's Prime bottle when the kid was actually asking for an autograph. Logan comes out, takes his gum, puts it on top of the bottle. Instead of being upset, the kid actually yells, "Thank you, this is awesome!" And I'm just like, I finally figured it out. Logan Paul can't be a heel to kids. Adults our age hate him, but kids love him no matter what he does. Like, I think that's the appeal there.
He is stupid.
Logan Paul has the mentality of a 5-year-old, so motherfucker dropped $1 million on a Charizard that he turned into a necklace.
I think it was a Pokemon. Or not Pokemon, but a Pikachu.
No, Charizard.
It was Charizard?
First edition Charizard. PSA 10.
Didn't you find out it was fake?
It wasn't fake. It was not what he wanted, because there's the two competing companies that do card grading. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. It's PSA, and I don't remember what the other company is. But PSA 10s, there are 16 Charizards in the world. The other company, there's only 2. And the same guy owned both of them. And Logan wanted to buy one of those 2 because there's only 2.
Interesting.
And guy wouldn't sell it to him, so he sold him that Charizard. But the PSA 10's not worth $1 million; it's worth like 300,000.
Still up there.
Interesting.
Still up there.
All right,
Wow.
so got a good bit of notes on this one. If you guys pop in whenever you feel free to say anything whenever you want to. So match begins, normal tie up. Logan forces the Miz in the corner, pushes his forehead. Miz responds with a kick to the gut and a shoulder block off the ropes, pushing Logan down by his head when he tries to get up, kind of like a tit for tat kind of thing. They hit the ropes again, and Logan gets an automatic drop. What does that mean? Atomic drop, not automatic drop. Oh man. Anyway, Irish Whip ends up with advantage to Logan as he hits the crossbody backflip combo. He hits his right knee, or he hits his right leg on the Miz's knees. The Miz got the knees up, but it was sloppy. It almost looked like it was miscommunicated. So he pinned him for the 1-2 no. Miscommunication after the pin, which leads to another 1-2 no. So what that was is that Miz and Logan kind of scrambled a little bit, and then Miz was just kind of like, F it, I'm going to pin you real quick. It was very weird. It was a very weird, thing, which we'll talk about in a second. Then we get a brief look at Nick Aldis in the skybox with Braun Breaker, Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair. They're all just chilling and watching. Miz goes for another pin, 1-2 no, sends Logan to the ropes. Logan gets the upper hand for a fireman's carry front roll. While he's still favoring his right leg. He then grabs the Miz for alternating uppercuts, and then does Naomi's split leg drop for a 1-2 no, which I thought was kind of weird.
I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself, but yeah, continue.
So Logan takes the Miz to the corner to have the Irish Whip reverse. The Miz Logan took the Miz to the corner and started doing chops. Miz reversed, delivered chops of his own. And then you get some it kicks in the corner. Miz starts taking Logan corner to corner until Logan gets the upper hand, throwing Miz into the ring post and hitting a springboard clothesline into a second rope frog splash onto the ring apron. Which was pretty devastating to watch. Anything on the ring apron, obviously, hardest part of the ring. It's devastating. Commercial break. Both men knock each other down when you come back from the commercial break. Work their way up. Miz gets the upper hand with lefts and rights, a couple clotheslines. He hits the Irish Whip for Logan to end up getting a devastating clothesline. Miz picks him up to hit the flatliner, 1-2 no. Logan counters the skull-crushing finale. They work to the corner for Logan to attempt a second rope move, but the Miz counters and hits the code breaker for another pin. Another near pinfall, doesn't get it. Miz hits a series of kicks, a series of it kicks. Logan counters the last it kicks, which, by the way, if anybody's wondering what that is, it's just like Brian Danielson's yes kicks. That was from a program they did, a feud they had a while back. But Logan counters for a roll up for a near fall. They scrap and Miz goes back to attacking the right knee. Miz attempts to drag Logan from the apron for a potential figure four, but Logan holds onto the apron, dragging it into the ring, which distracts the ref, making the ref have to put the ring apron back. This allows Logan to rake the eyes of the Miz, setting him up for the skull-crushing finale as Logan pins him to try to beat him with his own move for another near fall kick out at 2. Logan goes for his super duper punch, whatever he calls that, the knockout punch. I don't really know. Which leads to a series of counters until the Miz gets him on the ground. Figure four gets locked in. Logan gets to the ropes and slides out of the ring. Miz follows, and Logan catches him and runs him into the side of the ring. As a buddy, he goes over to his buddy at ringside, hands him a pair of brass knuckles. Of course, Miz watches television. He knows what's going on. So he So he, knocks down Logan, gets rid of the brass knuckles. He was going to use them, but he noticed that the referee was watching him, so he's like, you know what, fine, throw him away. Miz goes to get in the ring and is met by Logan, who hits him with a mean right, pulls him back in the ring. Logan Paul wins via an inverted skull-crushing finale, which, in my opinion, was a mess up. I think he was supposed to do the skull-crushing finale. He inverted it because he kind of got nervous, if that makes sense. I don't know. So either way, overall, what do you guys think of the match? What do you guys think of Logan Paul?
I'm gonna let him have it. Go, you can go first.
I don't like Logan Paul. I hate his existence. I will say he has gotten 9 million times better than he was the first few pay-per-views they brought him in on. He was originally just a fucking publicity stunt. Pardon my language to any children listening. But he was just a publicity stunt.
The thing. It's fine.
Okay, good. Then I ain't got to worry about it. But he's actually putting effort into it and learning how to do these moves correctly, do his bumps correctly, not putting people in danger. He's becoming a decent wrestler, but unoriginal. Like, most of his moves do not have names. He's just using stuff. And I think his character is retarded as his YouTube channel. I don't like him. There's nothing more to say about that. However, I think him going over the Miz is a good call to go into the chamber. I think it's a good story build, especially with him and his conversations he's had recently, especially going into this with but I shouldn't be booked as this. I'm a superstar. I should be getting, what do you say? I should be getting the Reigns treatment, I believe.
The Roman Reigns treatment, yeah.
Yeah. So, I show up at a pay-per-view, spit on somebody and walk away as the champion, and there you go. That's what he's looking for. So they've got some sort of story they're building with him.
Yeah.
That I think is going to deal with the Elimination Chamber. I just know there's no way. It won't be a good thing for me if he wins the chamber. Like I said, it should come down to Drew and Randy. If Logan is in the final two, somebody botched somewhere, in my opinion. The Miz not getting over, I think, is a good call because that sets us up for some sort of tag match with him and R-Truth at the chamber as one of the side card events. And I'm all for anything with those two together because those two can put on quite a show by themselves. Never mind if you pair them with somebody that's got some ring etiquette too.
Okay.
That's fair. I think Dresh will stop watching wrestling if Logan Paul gets to the final two.
Maybe not the final two, but if he wins the damn match, yeah, no, done.
It's like, no,
you won't have me on the podcast anymore. Don't worry.
Jeez.
I gotta find a new co-host.
Jeez.
No, but for real, I mean, I'm starting to like Logan Paul as far as his character, as far as a heel. Well, not say character, but the heel he brings to the table. However, the brass knuckles, it makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. He has a move called the knockout punch. Why need brass knuckles when you can hit somebody and literally knock them out? What's the point in the brass knuckles?
Insurance.
To add heat? Insurance? It still doesn't make sense. You can literally hit somebody. Oh, he's out. Cool. Why do I need brass knucks? It's not needed. Find a different way to have him cheat. That's all I'm saying. Find a different back way to have him cheat. If he's gonna have interference, try something else because the brass knucks, it just needs to stop. But overall, no, go
ahead. No,
I was just gonna say I was gonna finish it up by saying overall he's getting a lot better and he's starting to warm up to me. However, I'm still on board with Josh. He can kick rocks. I don't like him.
I am starting to like him a little bit more. But kind of your same sentiment. I think that he's just green in the ring. I mean, this was his first Smackdown live match that wasn't this was his first match that wasn't a PLE. He's had 5 matches, 6 matches. one of those has been a tag team. That was his first one. Like, I mean, like there's for him to have come as far as he has come, he's putting the hard work in. We might not like him. You might not like him as a streamer or a podcaster or whatever he is, but you got to respect him at some point. I don't like that they put the belt on him. I think that was a dumb decision. However, I also understand it because of he right now he's a beacon to, even though he's a heel, he's like a beacon to kids that you can, like, whatever you want to do, you can do. And that's what WWE stands for. So from a non-kayfabe like standpoint, I understand the decisions. I think that they just pushed him into it way too quick. And I think that they probably could have done it other ways, but also at the same time, in the interest of him being a heel, we hate him because of the way he's been pushed. Because he's been pushed as this person who's very arrogant, who gets whatever he wants, and he never gets caught when he cheats. Classic heel stuff. So he's starting to grow on me. His in-ring work needs some work.
I hate him because he's a twat waffle.
His in-ring ability needs some work, but outside of that, he is starting to grow on me, and I'm starting to get more used to him. But moving on, we now have the men's elimination chamber match. It's going to be KO versus LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley versus Logan Paul. That is our official match. Next Thursday, we are going to go over who we think is going to win it and in what order we think they're going to be eliminated in, as well as the women's. We're going to go over the entire card as much as we can, and we're going to predict our winners and things like that.
We should have the entire card before Thursday's episode, because I'm pretty sure the last chance match is on Raw.
Yep.
For the women. So the last slot that's open will be taken care of on Monday, if I remember correctly.
Gotcha. So we should be able to do that. And then after that, we get the Braun, Jade, Nick Aldis, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton segment. Nick is showing Jade and Braun their potential contracts. Tiffany comes in and says, I'm in the match now, and I don't really know how it works because I've never been in the Elimination Chamber match. Am I supposed to pin you first, Liv, or am I supposed to pin you first, Bianca? They start to argue. Jade interrupts, saying, this is her business meeting. I know y'all aren't interrupting it. Jade's outfit was amazing. I love that mirror outfit or whatever. I don't know if that's what she normally wears, but it's pretty cool. And they're really slow playing Jade Cargill, and I'm not sure why. I think I do know why, but like, I just want to see. I want to see more of her. I want to see what she can do. She was in the Rumble, and now she's not going to be in Perth potentially. So it's like she hasn't signed a contract yet. Like, it's a lot. I assume she's going to Raw, but it's a lot going on. So, so then Tiffany leaves, and Nick and Braun leave with his contract. Let's see. We've got the last match of the night, and then we're gonna fast play through The Rock and all that stuff, so we can keep it just at an hour and 10, because we're doing this to keep time. So Elimination Chamber qualifying match: Naomi versus Shotzi's replacement, Alba Fire with Isla Dawn. If I messed their names up, I apologize. So Naomi has new music. It doesn't slap as hard as her old music, in my opinion. Commentators try to put Alba Fire over, but I just wasn't feeling it, man. We all knew it was a death sentence. So, in the match, they tie up. Alba comes out strong, takes Naomi to the turnbuckle and gives her the boots. Puts her on the bottom rope, and Isla Dawn gets involved with a choke on the bottom rope. So typical heel things. Naomi ends up getting the upper hand, slides from the ropes to a right hand, while both she slides on the mat from the ropes to give Alba like a right hand or whatever. Alba was kind of late on the communication there. She then hits the ropes and does the authentic leg split drop that Logan was trying to do in the match before. Alba slides outside and grabs Naomi's legs to pull her out. Naomi shakes her off to get distracted by Isla, which leads to a momentary upper hand by Alba, but Naomi takes over again, slams Alba's head into the steel steps, When we come back from the commercial break, Alba's in control, but Naomi takes over for a clothesline and a head scissors takedown, hits a drop kick and a kip up to hit a bulldog for a near fall. Series of forearms from Naomi, and it ends with another bulldog, but this time to the second turnbuckle. Naomi then goes for goes to the top for a crossbody pin, near fall 1-2 no. Naomi gets Albye up, and Albye gets her back to the corner, flips her over with like a snapmare, and then does like a split-legged face slam on Naomi for near fall. She picks Naomi up for a fireman's carry slam. Naomi counters and rolls up Albye for another near fall. And when Albye kicks out, she sends Naomi to the ropes, where Isla Dawn is waiting for her to give her a big forearm. Albye then catches the rebound to roll Naomi up. Another near fall, 1-2 no. Albye picks her up for the gory special, and Naomi counters and runs over to Inseguri Isla Dawn, who had gotten up on the apron to distract. Naomi gives her the suck it gesture, runs back to Albye, hits a leg scissors spike to spike her down on her head, rolls her around, and Naomi wins via head scissor DDT into a Slayo mission. That's what her submission move is called, the Slayo mission. Real quickly touch on this. Albye Fire was not ready for the main event of SmackDown.
No, not even close.
No,
no, it was just a lot going on there. I wasn't feeling it. No.
Yeah, it was sloppy, and there were a lot of mess ups. There were a lot of miscommunications. Now again, same thing as the guys from NXT. You know, like came up, got the rub. You know, she got the rub from Naomi. Like, it's really good. But the thing is to do it on the SmackDown main event, the matches should have been switched. It should have been Logan Paul, since he's supposed to be the bigger star right now. It should have been Logan Paul in the main event, and it should have been Naomi and Albye before that. That's how I would have booked it if it were me.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah, that makes more sense.
So, all right, so moving on, just because time. Dakota Kai and Bayley segment. Basically, Dakota Kai says, hey, they're coming after me. I need your help. Bayley says, I can't trust you, and dips. That's pretty much the segment. Bayley's like, bitch. So there was a Nick Aldis segment where he came out to the front. He said, I'm really happy to announce that Braun Breaker has signed with SmackDown. If you were going to book it, so he's going to be in action next week. If you were going to book it, who would you book him to be against? Because if it were me, I would book it as a squash. But who do you think his first rivalry should be against on SmackDown?
A good, interesting take. Wait, is Chad Gable still?
Chad is on Raw.
He's on Raw
with Alpha Academy. Yep.
That would have made sense. Braun Breaker. I'm not 100% sure yet. You know.
You got a good idea, Drush?
Not really, because I haven't seen a whole lot of him. I have not been into NXT and all that, so I haven't seen Braun Breaker do what Braun Breaker does, other than what we saw at the Elimination Chamber, where Braun Breaker did Braun Breaker things. As far as being on the main card, I'm not sure yet. I don't know that he should even be ready for a rivalry yet. At this point, let's put him out. Let's make sure he's doing proper things, and see if we build his character. Are they going to continue his NXT character, or is he going to have a whole new identity now that he's here? I know sometimes when they bring him up, they try and change him entirely. So,
yeah, I don't think that they're going to do that this time with him. I will say that I 100% think that he should do a few squashes, and then I think that they should put him in a program with Randy Orton.
I was thinking that. I was just thinking. I was like, maybe Randy. Kind of.
I mean, that's a hell of a jump, isn't it? to go.
Not
from
really,
just
because you have to
being
think about
there
it this
to
way. Randy Orton is a
being in
second generation or third generation superstar.
He's third generation, and
That's true.
Braun
Yeah,
is second
and he's
generation.
Steiner. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it kind of
it makes
follows
sense.
a line. So that's
Yeah.
and also Randy is very good to learn from. Randy's the safest one around. Braun, the way he wrestles, I'm not saying he's not safe because I have no proof of that, but Braun is explosive. So putting someone very safe with someone very explosive for them to learn for him to learn from Randy would be a really good idea. Like learn from Randy in the background. That's how I would. That's how I would book it if it were me.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
All right, so let's get into the thing that everybody wants to talk about.
Real quick before you do that,
Yep.
You were asking about Jade Cargill and kind of what's going on with that.
Yeah.
When they moved her to main card, instead of bringing her to the card like they were originally going to, they sent her to the Performance Center to do some training, refining, and all of that. And they found that there was just a lot more work that she needed. That's why she's been pulled from, they talked about her possibly being in the Elimination Chamber. She's still working in the at the Performance Center, refining things, making sure she's the character she wants to be.
Gotcha. Okay.
Before they bring her in.
That's legit. I like that because when she comes out, she's going to be a killer, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on to the Bloodline segment. This is the one that everybody wants to talk about. I'm gonna let you boys argue it out as well when we get through it. So I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Bloodline segment. Bloodline comes out first, and Roman Reigns does his whole acknowledge me bit, says that Utah is dumb, and he doesn't want the crowd to get lost in the catchphrases and the funny sayings, because when his cousin comes out, what he has to say is important, and everybody needs to listen to him. Crowd chants Cody, and Roman Reigns says, yeah, Cody, the guy that ruined everything. Yeah, that's the guy. Reigns says, The Rock is now a member of the Bloodline officially. When The Rock's music hits, Rock comes out, kind of what he's wearing is kind of a nod to the 1999-1998 Rock. So he comes out wearing that stupid jacket.
Versace.
What was said when we were talking about it? Looked like he bought it from the Nigerian, it looked like Aladdin stole it from a Nigerian bazaar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Okay, it's Versace. It's a callback. I get it though. I get it.
So Rock hits the ring, says that the audience broke the all-time record for the stadium, the largest gathering of trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen. Does his finally bit, but says that finally their life will have meaning and that they will have something to tell their 500 wives and their stupid inbred children. Tells a fan to shut their fat mouth or he'll slap the herpes off their mouth. Says they let go of the biggest WrestleMania match in history, that they flushed it down the same toilet that they sat their fat asses on and said, we want Cody to finish his story. And he goes, what is Cody's story? A good point, Dresh, that you brought up in the last podcast. What is his story? So he started asking that. Calls the fans inbred and ignorant for chanting what? Then he noticed, I could tell in his face, he noticed the hole that was in his promo. I'm assuming that they didn't give him any lines. They said, hey, just go out there and do your promo. Because he said, you don't just get another shot at your story because you want it. You have to earn it. The problem is Cody did earn it. And you can tell when The Rock said that, he noticed what he was saying. And so what he did was he covers by calling the fans spoiled, entitled, little crybaby bitches. Then he points at Roman while talking about Cody and says, I'll make sure that you walk out of WrestleMania exactly what you are, a loser. Says that Cody's story is over and The Rock and Roman Reigns' story is just beginning. He didn't want the fans to do the if you smell bit with him. He told them to sit down, shut up, and enjoy the ride that The Rock is about to take them on. Points an L in the sky instead of his finger. So instead of this, he did this. My last couple notes are, like, it's just me thinking. I said, The Rock has never done well in a stable, kayfabe-wise speaking. Is he pulling a Nation of Domination move here? Guys, you know everything that I'm going to say because you guys said it before I said it. So It's 9 o'clock officially. We've been going for an hour and 55 minutes. Let's take 10 minutes, talk about this for 5 minutes. We'll wrap up the news, and then we'll be done. So talk to me about this segment. What do y'all think?
I don't know anymore. Triple H's booking is crazy as hell, but it's the callback to the L sign. Like I saw the Nation of Domination. I'm like, he did kind of just take over and kick somebody out. I'm not gonna say the names, but yeah, he kicked old boy out and he became leader of Nation of Domination. As is gonna happen at WrestleMania. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know where this is going anymore. So it's very interesting. I can't wait to watch it.
I mean, there's one of two ways I see this. Either Rocky's gonna kick Roman to the curb because his ego can't fucking have it. He has to be that center of the stage. Just has to be, period. Or he's actually pulling an elaborate hoax and he's going to turn on Rocky, or he's going to turn on Roman anyway because he's actually working with Cody to get the bloodline out of place.
So he's
now an elaborate plant into the bloodline, because remember, before he announced he was a member of the bloodline, he was the one that Cody was talking to that knew Roman so well and was getting information from him. So this could all be an elaborate work of him just driving himself into the bloodline to help Cody, when the time comes.
So you think regardless, The Rock's going to turn?
I'm almost certain regardless of what happens, The Rock will turn. He may not turn during the title match. I'm still almost certain we're going to get that tag team booking on day 2. And he may not turn during the title match, but he'll turn there. He will turn during WrestleMania. There's no way. There's just no way he's going to sit in the back.
Well, I've been putting
He's so used to being the head of the table himself. He can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why
Maui can't do that.
Well, I've been putting some puzzle pieces together, and I got to tell you, I don't think the tag team match is going to happen, number one. But number two, I think that The Rock is going to turn at WrestleMania. I think that when I say turn, I think it's going to be he's going to stay heel. I think Roman becomes face, and I think The Rock takes Solo Sikoa, and I think Roman takes Jimmy Uso. I think we run that tag match. I think that Cody takes the title, and I think that Cody stays on SmackDown. But I think that what Rock said is very is very prophetic. I think that The Rock saying, Cody, your story is finishing, or your story is finished, and mine and Roman's is just starting, and I think that's going to be 100% true. Also, Cody said he had a lot of conversations. Roman has not once questioned what that conversation was. Because what he said, Cody said, I want to take everything from you. And he said, I had a lot of conversations, and there's a guy that knows you very well. There's some deep, deep storytelling happening here, in my opinion. And that deep, deep storytelling is that The Rock is not only going to allow Cody to take that championship, but make it so that Roman Reigns never comes back for it, or at least not for a year.
No, wow.
Because he's going to be busy running the program with The Rock, or with The Rock and whoever The Rock puts in his way.
So the slap around the world, heard around the world, it was just a facade?
Could be. I mean,
I don't know. They seem to be big on the slaps in the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
everybody's
taste out of his mouth. I'm sorry. He said he was gonna slap the herpes off of Fat Man in Utah. So I don't know. I don't know about that, man. That slap was real. Cody knows.
True. No, you're very, and you know what? That is a factor. And you're right. Triple H, and you were right, G. What you were saying, Triple H's booking is crazy. So I could have just read this entirely wrong, because then you say something about the slap, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. The slap did start all of this. So You know, was it a swerve? You know, like Dakota Kai swinging a chair at Damage Control, but we still think that Damage Control is gonna, you know, have Dakota Kai in it by WrestleMania. Like, so y'all think that's a swerve? I mean, who knows? Who knows the way it's gonna go? So, yeah. Either way, it was a very exciting segment, and it definitely has promoted a lot of online discussion. So, I'm not really big on like crazy spoilers for week to week, but if we come up with anything, we'll definitely post it on our Twitter. We'll definitely post it on WrestleForum.com. We're going to be on there now. So keep a lookout for that if you all are a part of that. Definitely go follow us on Twitter. We're trying to build that too. But anyway, the matches that were announced for next week that we know that are happening. The Street Profits versus the Authors of Pain. We actually already talked about that. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne versus Dirty Dom and JD McDonough. Braun Breaker debuts. Probably will be a squash match. And then LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. Just one quick thing on Braun Breaker. WWE, if anyone is listening to this, please do not get him stuck in squash matches like you did with Braun Strowman. Please do not do that. Because he did squash matches to the point that it sucked. We knew it was coming, and it sucked. So please don't do that. Same with Omos. Like, stop putting them in squash matches.
No.
All right, so some very quick news, and then we'll be good to go. I'll try to have it out by like 1:12. We're at 1:07 right now. So Stephanie McMahon was named as part of the cover-up with Ashley Mazzaro. This is coming from New Nation, at New Nation, their Twitter. Cara Pipia, I believe is how you say her last name. I apologize if I butchered it. A close friend of Ashley says that Vince had Stephanie take his place in the discussions after the alleged allegations of sexual assault in Kuwait happened in 2006 because Stephanie was a female voice and that it would be more comfortable for her. Says that there was a meeting with Vince, Stephanie, and other WWE executives where Ashley was told this was to stay under wraps. Said that WWE doctor also knew what was going on, but was sympathetic to her instead of cold like everybody else. John Laurinaitis' lawyer, this is important, acknowledges that the WWE knew about the sexual assault in Kuwait, despite WWE maintaining that it was a company that they never knew or never had it brought up to them. And also, of course, Vince and WWE still denies any knowledge of the incident, and Vince denies the allegations that have been brought against him. Important to say. So another quick part of that, Laurinaitis, I've heard, I don't even know if I want to completely report on this, but basically, I've heard it said that Vince McMahon was supposed to use Laurinaitis as the fall guy, but when legal ramifications came apparent, Laurinaitis was like, everything's off the table. I'm saying everything now because I'm not going to jail for this, when talked about a court case. So that is one of the reasons, I presume, that we're having Laurinaitis speak out the way that he is now. Also saying that he was also claiming that he was a victim of Vince McMahon and not a participant. So yes, the latest news that I heard today is that the WWE executives that are mentioned in the affidavit are no longer with WWE. It's not that they were terminated per se, but they are no longer there with the company. So that's, I mean, at least good to know. Moving on, Tommy Dreamer is not the head of booking in TNA, despite the rumors. Quote from TNA, this is coming from Busted Open Radio and Fightful. Tommy Dreamer says, "I'm so glad people know things about my life that I don't know. Everything is staying intact of how it was before with myself, Robert Evans, and Delirious. There are no changes. Purposefully made sure that I purposefully made sure that was a thing. Whoever reported about stuff in my life, thank you. But as someone who has been doing the same stuff the entire time I've been there, nothing has changed. Thanks for the promotion. I hope I get a raise. If I was head of creative, Moose is losing the title to me at the next show. Book myself on top, brother."
That's fair.
It's important to note that currently, as we know, the creative team is as follows: Tommy Dreamer, Robert Evans, which is R.D. Evans, Hunter Johnston, which is Delirious. They will have, and they will also be getting support from Gail Kim and George Barbosa, Ariel Schnurrer, is overseeing all content, and they of course will be reporting everything to TNA President Anthony Ciccione on all talent and creative decisions. That's what we know right now. So yeah, stop starting rumors, guys. Stop starting rumors. Moving on to Drew and his contract. Drew won't comment on his contract expiring. This is from Fightful. I can't talk about that. This is from Drew. I can't talk about that. I'll let the internet talk about it. I'll just keep watching. It's interesting. I'm not the only one that has a contract in WWE. It's just interesting that it seems to be mine that is on there every week for a year. Drew's contract is set to expire the day after WrestleMania. He's advertised for a live event in Italy in May, though. Guys, it's all a work. They're doing this to build doubt that he'll win the title. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear about his contract until after WrestleMania, or maybe right before Perth. It will break that he signed a deal, but the thing is like, if he doesn't sign a deal, he doesn't win the title. If he does sign a deal, I think he's going to win the title. So I just don't. I think that everything's taken care of. I think that this is just a work, and they're trying to build some doubt. So the WrestleMania match and the WrestleMania finish isn't like obvious. You know what I mean? Charlie Dempsey and Brogan Finley made their NXT debut this past week in Tampa, Florida. Charlie is the son of William Regal, and Brogan Finley is, of course, the son of Fit Finley, fourth generation wrestler. He's the son of Fit Finley, the grandson of Dave Finley, and the great grandson of William Finley. I have not seen the match yet. I tried to find it. I can't find it anywhere. If anyone who's listening to this finds that match, please send it to me on our Discord, on our Twitch. Not the Twitch, but a Discord or Twitter, anything. Please send it to me. I would love to see it.
I heard it was a great match. That's all I can say. I heard it was a great match. But,
yeah.
Nothing else, but yeah.
Moving on to Steve Mongo McMichael. He currently has MRSA and is undergoing a blood transfusion. You guys might know Steve Mongo McMichael, obviously, from football in the early 90s, but also he was in WCW as a commentator, and he was the former WCW TV champion. He went into the hospital last week. They thought it was for pneumonia. It turned out to be a UTI, and his health is kind of, just kind of wavered. He is elderly at this point. So we hope him a speedy recovery. We hope he gets through it. MRSA is no laughing matter. I know that for a fact. Like, it's serious. So, And the last piece of news that we have coming for you today, CM Punk on his injury. He comments on his injury. He says that, this comes from TNT Sports. We're thinking maybe to 6 to 8 months, but I'm not really in a rush to get back to compete. I'm in a rush to get healthy. I'm in a rush to get better. The sooner I do that, the better I'll be when I come back. I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit about it, but I'm just going to say my piece real quick as well. CM Punk is elderly, is getting to the point to where his body is elderly. He is not elderly, but unfortunately, I believe that, I don't know, man. I just don't think he can go the way he used to go. And all respect to him. He's one of the best, but I don't know.
No, his body is deteriorating right in front of our eyes, but I don't know. I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a shot, see how he does in his next matchup 6 to 8 months from now. But if any other injuries just so happens within the next couple of months after he returns, then yeah, I don't see it lasting long. Side note, sorry. Speaking of injuries, after being back from an injury, Nikita Lyons, I heard she's injured again too, which is sad information because yeah, she's good. I miss her. I miss her in the ring. I miss her action. But absolutely, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yep. You got any thoughts on CM Punk there, Dresh?
I mean, it's crappy to see Punk hurt. I was glad to see him back. He adds a level of insanity to it. It was kind of like them bringing Edge back for a little while. Edge was back. Punk is he wants to punch everybody in the mouth. So I want to see him back in some capacity. I know he's in no hurry. I'd rather he not be in a hurry. I want him fully recovered so we can see him at his best that he has left when he comes back. But let's do like we did at the press event. throw him in that announcer booth every now and then. Bring him back as a commentator. It's good to just see the man around. I don't know, maybe it's me being old and just liking seeing wrestlers from my youth, seeing them still around, knowing they're not, deteriorating in a corner somewhere.
Right.
I hope him a speedy recovery, but I hope he doesn't try and push it and come back before he's ready.
Right. Well, I mean, he did say that he's still in the mix. It's just he's using his mouth to be in the mix. So we'll see how far that goes.
Last time he used his mouth, he got punched in the mouth. That was a different company.
Man.
So, but all right, guys.
WWE
Look, we
just posted Monday Night Raw, Ivar versus Gable.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah,
like
that'd be a
that.
good one.
I like
That'll be an interesting one.
I like that. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Dresh, how many we got in the chat right now?
2.
2 people in the chat. Awesome. All right, well, look, gentlemen, ladies, whoever's watching, thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out us on our other platforms, which we should have linked in the chat, but they're not right now. But they will be. They are on our homepage. Don't forget to follow and like any videos that you see on YouTube, anything like that, and check us out for our next live broadcast, which will be Thursday at 8 p.m. This has been It's All a Work. Y'all have a fantastic night. See you Thursday.
See ya.